Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, and what I want to do for this video is give you guys a quick unofficial breakdown of the coming Variety Map Pack. If you guys don't know, the Variety Map Pack is going to be coming to Modern Warfare Remastered. It was the first and only DLC pack for Call of Duty 4, and that same map pack and its names and all the maps and stuff like that are showing up in game files now for Modern Warfare Remastered. They've actually been showing up in game files for a couple of months now, which says we're probably getting closer to this DLC actually being announced, but of course Raven Software never announces anything, never tells us anything. We're always just left in the dark, but we do know that the Variety Map Pack and all of its maps are in game files, so they're going to be coming to the game, and what I want to do is give you guys a quick rundown of what all the maps are going to be like, tell you some stories, give you guys some Easter eggs, give you some insight as to what these maps are actually going to be like, and this is especially going to be made for the people that have never actually played Call of Duty 4, or at least played Call of Duty 4's DLC. So if that sounds interesting to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy while we go through the 4 maps that are going to be coming to Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. The first map is going to be called Creek. Now, this one is absolutely beautiful. I mean, even with 2007 era graphics, I love the way that this map actually looks. It's set in the mountains of Russia, and it was actually the biggest map in Call of Duty 4. The idea with the Variety Map Pack going into it was to add variety to Call of Duty 4, and so they added the biggest map in the entire game, Creek, which was incredibly friendly to snipers, while at the same time encouraging lots of very long-range gunfights between players. The area actually has tons of unique locations. Like, you have this area I'm going to call Sniper Hill, which always has snipers on it. You have a cave on this map, which takes the biggest map in the game and makes it very small. You can get from one end of the map to the other very, very quickly if you take the cave, but the trouble with the cave is there's always somebody in it or somebody on the other side waiting for you to come through it. You have these buildings up here, which you can actually get on top of one of them. This is actually one of the best spots in the entire map. You can get on top of this rooftop here and counter snipe the people that are on the hill across the map. You have the entire creek bed, you have side paths, you have lots of amazing and unique locations on this map, which really feel like you're playing a sniper map. Now, as somebody who loved sniping back in Call of Duty 4, I really enjoyed playing on this map, but a lot of people didn't because it was a sniper map. It's one of those maps that is very sniper friendly, and I have no doubt it's going to be the same way here in Modern Warfare Remastered, but still, I'm looking forward to playing on it, and if you guys would like to get a preview of what this map is actually going to be like, you can actually do so by playing the campaign, because just about every map in Call of Duty 4 was loosely based off an area from the campaign, and Creek was no different. Creek is based off of the campaign missions Blackout, Safe House, as was Heat. So if you go play those campaign missions here in Modern Warfare Remastered, you can see some locations and assets that are going to be used in the multiplayer map Creek, which of course is going to come with the Variety Map Pack. The next map we're going to be looking at is going to be called Kill House. Now, what's interesting about this is we go from the largest map in the game in Creek to the second smallest map in the entire game, which of course is going to be called Kill House. The gold medal champion for smallest map still goes to Shipment, but Kill House was an incredibly small map that has incredibly fast-paced and hectic action around every corner. I mean, flanking of course was always an option on this map, but you're going to find that most of the time gunfights are kind of head-on in this game of tug-of-war essentially between both teams. Matches are going to be fast-paced, you're going to get a lot of kills, you're going to have a lot of deaths. It's going to feel a lot like Shipment in some respect, but it has a little bit more, it's not as random as Shipment, right? You're not going to spawn in your own martyrdom and die on this map. It's a map where you can actually take a moment to breathe and smell the roses, but at the same time, it's going to be more fast-paced than any other map in the entire game, once again, with the exception of Shipment. Now, what's actually really interesting about Kill House is we are playing in an SAS training facility, just like the one that we saw in the campaign. In fact, if you go into spectator mode and go outside of the map, suddenly we are back in the campaign at the very first location we were when we're playing as Soap and we meet Captain Price for the first time. One of those giant warehouse buildings was actually the location that they decided to use for the multiplayer map Kill House, which is pretty cool. So I'm hoping, because Raven Software has been really screwy with this, I'm hoping we can actually go outside of the map in spectator mode once Kill House actually comes out, so we can actually see the campaign mission and all the stuff outside the map. But typically they block that stuff off with invisible barriers here in Modern Warfare Remastered, so we're going to have to see. But Kill House, yeah, it's going to be very fast-paced, very fun. It's going to be kind kind of akin to Shipment, but not as chaotic. You're still going to die a lot to grenades. There's going to be a little bit of spawn killing, but it should be a little bit more controlled chaos as compared to Shipment, which is just pure chaos. The next map is going to be called Chinatown. Now, this one's actually very interesting. The first two maps, of course, were based off of areas from the campaign. Chinatown is not. We're actually set in Chinatown, San Francisco, California, and that was not part of the campaign whatsoever, but the reason why it was added to the game was because this is actually a remake of the classic Call of Duty 2 map Chinatown, which apparently was one of the better maps in Call of Duty 2, and if you've never played Call of Duty 2, you've still probably seen this map because Chinatown was that little side village on the side of the map Infection in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, so that's pretty cool. So that little side thing that you saw on Infection, that area was recreated into Call of Duty 4 as the map Chinatown. This map is incredibly unique. I mean, it's nighttime, you're set in this like Chinatown area, and you have neon lights and oranges and stuff like that everywhere. It looks incredibly unique while at the same time remaining true to the canon and the lore of the Modern Warfare series, which is pretty cool. It's a medium-sized map. It features a lot, and you guys are noticing this as I'm walking around here, a lot of very close quarters areas. I mean, there are tons of buildings on this map, and just about every one of them is able to be accessed from multiple areas, and you also have multiple stories on most of these buildings, right? So obviously submachine guns and shotguns are going to be pretty good on this map, but you can use wherever you want. This was actually one of the better maps in Call of Duty 4 in my opinion, and I think most people tend to agree with that statement because every time it showed up in the rotation, people tend to vote for it because it's a fun map to play. It is a remake of a classic map from Call of Duty 2, so if you're somebody that's been playing since Call of Duty 2, I think you're going to be excited to see Chinatown actually making a comeback with the Variety Map Pack. The fourth and final map with this DLC, of course, is going to be Broadcast. Now, if you guys want to play Broadcast right now, you pretty much can. Go play the campaign, go do the mission Charlie Don't Surf, and at the very end of that mission, you basically go into the multiplayer map Broadcast. What they did is they took that TV station from the end of the campaign and basically made it its own multiplayer map. That's basically all they did, but at the same time, Broadcast is probably my favorite DLC map in Call of Duty 4 and one of my favorite maps in the entire game because it plays incredibly well. You have two areas basically, right? You have indoors and outdoors, kind of similar to Vacant, right? On the outside of the map, you have this building at the end of the parking lot, which is well known as a sniper area because it has an incredible line of sight on many different portions of the TV station itself, so always expect to see somebody back in this building with a sniper rifle. The other building in the parking lot is not nearly as useful, and it's not really used for a whole lot, honestly. I remember there was actually a headquarters location for this particular building, but aside from that, not a lot of people actually used it, but it's definitely there. Use that to your advantage. You can also get on top of the roof here out in the parking lot by simply jumping on top of the truck and then jumping over on top of the tin roof. It's not the most useful location in the world, but it's definitely a pretty fun one nonetheless. Now, once you go inside, you can basically break this thing down almost like a donut in a way, right? So the very center of the map, picture like a jelly-filled donut, right? The very center of the map is going to be an area that is just covered in televisions and desks, right? And every time you walk into the center of the map, you're going to find somebody. There's always somebody in this room. So many people always in this room. And the rest of the map is like the actual donut part of the donut, right? It's basically a giant circle with two stories, right? And you can basically access every portion of this map from one other area of the map. It basically just runs in one giant loop. Now, it's difficult to show you every little nook and cranny and entrance in this short little video here, but if you guys want to play around in this building right now, again, go play Charlie Don't Surf in the campaign, kill off everybody inside this building, then start running around. It's the exact same building that you're going to find in the campaign, and overall, it's one of the better maps in Call of Duty 4, at least in my opinion. Like, I had a lot of fun playing on Broadcast. There's something about the way this map plays. Maybe it's the aesthetic, the idea that we're in a TV station, the map itself is actually bright and colorful, lots of blues and oranges and stuff. I don't know. I like this map. It was a lot of fun, and overall, I am very excited for the Variety Map Pack. I cannot wait to get new maps in this game because even as somebody who's been playing the game for a long time and loves Call of Duty 4 and loves Modern Warfare Remastered, seeing the same couple of maps over and over can definitely be tiresome, right? It's always nice to have a little bit more variety, and all of these maps were actually in Call of Duty 4. It's not as if we're bringing in maps from other Call of Duty games or anything like that here. This was actually officially put into Call of Duty 4 back in the day, therefore is most likely going to be put here into Modern Warfare Remastered. It's showing up in game files already, so we're going to see how it plays out. I hope they announce it soon. I cannot wait to play on these new maps because I think it's got a lot of variety. Get the name? Get it? Variety? It's got a lot of variety to the game, while at the same time just being a lot of fun. because these maps are actually pretty good. I mean, Creek was the map that people tended to like the least because you get sniped a lot on that map, but it was okay. It wasn't terrible by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it's no Block. I mean, I'd play Creek any day over Block. I mean, Creek is just infinitely better than Block in my opinion. So we're going to have to see. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed this quick little breakdown here. I tried my best to make this fast. It's like my third or fourth attempt at this video because I kept going on too long with every single map. I wanted to give you guys the TLDR of every single map in the Variety Map Pack, which once again is showing up in game files. Some people say, well, this is misleading, Nero. No, it's in the game files. It's coming to the game. I'm not trying to lead you on or anything like that. This stuff is in game files. It's going to be coming to the game at some point. We just don't know when. I figured I'd do a quick rundown for those of you guys that have never actually seen the maps that were featured in the Variety Map Pack. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Let me know down there in the comments what map from the Variety Map Pack are you most excited for. Drop me a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.